I never imagined that a single night could shatter everything I believed about marriage, trust, and respect. My name is Daniel, and for years, I thought loyalty and honesty were enough to protect a relationship. That night at the annual office party proved how wrong I was. The party was lively, laughter, clinking glasses, and casual chatter masking the tension beneath. My wife, Olivia, looked as stunning as ever, commanding attention effortlessly. I had always been proud of her, not just for her beauty, but for the partnership we had built together. Yet appearances, I quickly realized, could be deceiving, and the surface of normalcy often hid dangerous intentions. It began subtly. A colleague of hers, someone I'd met only a few times and never considered a threat, started lingering too close, too casually. At first, I dismissed it, blaming paranoia. But as the evening progressed, his intentions became impossible to ignore. He laughed a little too loudly at her jokes, brushed past her with unnecessary closeness, and the look in his eyes was unmistakable. He was testing limits, seeing how far he could push without consequence. Then it happened. At the edge of the dance floor, wearing a playful grin, he made his move. A light touch on her shoulder, an invitation to step aside from the crowd, a whispered comment. Private, if not for the intensity of the moment. Olivia stiffened briefly, but didn't pull away. My heart sank. He assumed she was receptive, or at least indifferent to my presence. That assumption would be his undoing. I stayed calm, watching. Public confrontations rarely work in your favor. My goal wasn't to create drama. It was to safeguard the truth, protect my marriage, and enforce boundaries. Every subtle gesture, every overstep, I cataloged silently, waiting for the perfect moment. Patience, I realized, was far more powerful than anger. As the music played, I positioned myself carefully, close enough to intervene without alarming others. Olivia's posture shifted slightly, a small tension in her shoulders, an acknowledgement of my presence without a glance. I sensed the unspoken negotiation, her choice to engage or resist, his assumption of control. I had to wait for the exact moment when his illusion of dominance would collapse, exposing the truth to everyone. I remained quiet, letting tension build naturally. He leaned in, confidence unshaken, certain her subtle hesitation was an invitation. He had misread everything. Olivia's charm, her usual politeness or flirtation, was no indication of consent. I had noticed every nuance, lingering touches, sly smiles, subtle shifts. I approached slowly, my presence calm but commanding. No shouting, no accusations. I simply positioned myself between him and Olivia. The moment he realized I was there, his smug grin faltered. Confidence became uncertainty. Arrogance turned to caution, and I saw the first flicker of fear in his eyes. He assumed I was distracted, that boundaries could be tested without consequence. He was wrong. Olivia's eyes met mine briefly, and I saw relief, recognition. She understood, without words, that I was fully aware and prepared to protect her and our marriage. The air between us shifted. My quiet, controlled presence carried more weight than any argument could. Boundaries were clear, non-negotiable. I leaned slightly closer, close enough for him to feel the pressure, without creating a scene. "I think it's time to step back," I said softly, every word weighted with authority. His eyes darted nervously, questioning if I was bluffing or serious. I held steady, reinforcing reality with every second. He had miscalculated and was now exposed. Olivia moved subtly closer to me, a nod, a touch on my arm, small gestures reinforcing our silent solidarity. The man understood. He had crossed a line he couldn't retreat from gracefully. He mumbled excuses, stammered, and backed away. The confidence that had filled him hours ago was gone, replaced by shame and apprehension. I didn't need to say more. The message had been delivered, boundaries enforced, respect restored. Olivia and I continued through the party, outwardly calm, inwardly aligned in a way no outsider could disrupt. I realized that the most powerful actions are often quiet, precise, and unyielding. Patience, observation, and timing reclaimed control without spectacle. By the night's end, the man had retreated, humiliated, not by confrontation, but by the quiet certainty of truth. Olivia and I left with our dignity intact, and a lesson clear. Respect is non-negotiable. Any attempt to breach it will have consequences, immediate and undeniable. The party hadn't revealed betrayal, but strength, awareness, timing, and unspoken power. As we left the crowd behind, I spoke to Olivia in a low, reassuring tone. You didn't do anything wrong. He misjudged the situation, not you. She leaned against me, relief and lingering tension in her eyes. The relief wasn't just for the man's failed advance. It was a recognition that together we had reinforced trust, boundaries, and understanding. Our connection, tested, had emerged stronger. I reflected on the night's lesson. Defending Olivia wasn't just about confronting audacity. It was about observing carefully, reacting strategically, and ensuring respect and trust are actively maintained. Many couples ignore subtle signs, rationalize small transgressions, or let minor manipulations slide. The accumulation of such oversight can erode even the strongest relationships. Awareness and timing are the most potent defenses against deception and disrespect. In the days after the party, the man's attempt to interact with Olivia at work were limited, his confidence permanently shaken. He realized charm, proximity, and subtle intimidation cannot bypass boundaries or fidelity. The quiet authority of patience and observation had spoken louder than confrontation ever could. For Olivia and me, the evening became a benchmark, a reminder of how vigilance, respect, and awareness must be maintained. Trust, tested but not broken, was clarified and reinforced. By handling the situation calmly and deliberately, I ensured that no one, not even the boldest provocateur, could undermine the foundation of our relationship. That night had been more than a party. It was a lesson in timing, perception, and silent authority. The man's failed attempt, my firm yet quiet intervention, and Olivia's subtle alignment demonstrated that true strength is often silent, calculated, and unavoidable. By the end, the lesson was clear. The most powerful actions are precise, deliberate, and unwavering. Trust, once threatened, is restored not through anger, but through quiet, strategic action.